All right, yo, what's up for you guys watching this on the YouTube replay? I really appreciate y'all. We're just going to be looking at like probably 20 to 30 stocks. We're going to be analyzing them, probably more than that, seeing which ones should we buy next week. And I'll show you how the market's doing. So it looks like Monday is going to be green tomorrow. It's 9:15 on a Sunday right now. The market opened an hour and 15 minutes ago. We're up 0.5%. If we go and look at the S&P 500 is up 0.67. It's kind of slowly trending down right now, but still the overall market is green. Pretty much every stock in our portfolio is up in the overnight market, and our Roth IRA as well. We're up 0.74% here. We also have, of course, our Moo portfolio over here. Here's how this portfolio is done. We got some winners and we got some losers in here. Like, look at Perion Network. We're down like a huge chunk on that stock. But yeah, I wanted to, hey, what up, live? Yo, what's up, everyone? I appreciate y'all being here. Yeah, if you got any stocks you want me to look at, let me know in the chat. And I just like being completely transparent, by the way. Like, check this out. We're still down 8% year to date. The past year, we're only up 3% the past year. And actually, if we compare that to the SPY, we're just barely doing worse than the S&P 500. So yeah, the market has outperformed me slightly, but we're also down less year to date than the S&P 500. Yo, what up, Valinor? Is this? No, I got multiple TikTok accounts. Only one other TikTok account. It's called Stocks Live. But yeah, this is my main account here. What ETFs do you recommend? Yo, Rivera. I was actually looking at this new ETF right here. This is a higher yielding one. It's ticker symbol MLPX. And basically, this ETF right here owns a bunch of MLPs. And what are MLPs? Well, these are basically companies that have to pay out most of their income in the form of dividends by law. What's up, David East? Good to see you. So yeah, all these companies have very or abnormally high dividend yields, and they don't pay you or they don't give you a complicated K1 tax form. So yeah, I do really like this one for the dividend yield. So this ETF has a 4.65% dividend yield. So yeah, MLPX is kind of cool. But also my favorite ETF would probably be QQQM. It's literally the Nasdaq 100. It's a lot of high growth tech names like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Broadcom. It's market cap weighted. So yeah, what up, Sermon? Good to see you, dude. Yeah, I've been gone. It's good to be back. Happy Sunday. Yo, what up, Rabbit? He said ticker symbol VT. Yeah, that's the Vanguard Total Stock World ETF. So yeah, this is a bit of a more international play, but yeah. Let's see here. Uh, BULL just IPO'd. Weeble, no way. Is this like the brokerage? No way. Actually, I'll add them to the watch list right here. That's actually quite interesting. They doing 100 million of revenue. You know what? I'll do some more research on them. Webull is this app right here. I have this app as well. It's a brokerage. I mean, so yeah, this I also have. You know what? Let's check our Webull portfolio. Let's see how we're doing. So yeah, if we look at us down here, I just like being completely transparent. I go on so many other TikTok streams. They don't show their losses. Look at this. We're down 17% all time in here. This is our like super risk on portfolio right here. We have some winners. We took a lot of profits on Robinhood, SoFi. And we used to have a lot of other companies. We took a lot of profit on them, but we're still all time we're down 17%. Not great. Webull also has the overnight market. Look at that. AMD's up 3. Sim is up 4.8. So it looks like the overnight market's doing pretty good. Super Micro's up 4. SoFi. So yeah, yo, what up, Bond Trader? How's it going, man? Yeah, Rabbit. I just like being completely transparent. I'm definitely not an expert. Again, don't listen to me. Don't take this as personalized financial advice. I don't sell anything. I don't have a course book, WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord. Watch out for people impersonating me as well. So, yo, what up, September? He said, HIMS, do you think it will be back to its prime? Well, here's the one concerning thing about HIMS right here. Yo, what up, Raw? Hello from Michigan. What's up, Raw? So HIMS and Hers, this company can no longer sell their weight loss prescription. And that's kind of why this stock fell these 5 days right there. It's very unfortunate. So they can no longer sell their main weight loss GLP-1 prescription, but the revenue growth is phenomenal here. The sales are up 95%, literally to a new record, and this company has no debt. They're cranking out net income now, so I really do like this company. I'm just curious to see if they can no longer sell their main GLP-1 prescription. How's that going to affect their future business, their future growth? I love the growth there right now, though. Is it lagging a lot? Is it just me? I hope it's not lagging. Let me know if it is for you. Oh, yo, what up, Jello? How's it going? Oh, here's a really cool ETF. This is like a higher dividend yielding one right here. And SCHD. So check this out. SCHD basically owns a lot of the higher yielding dividend stocks. Some of these are like Warren Buffett ones like Coca-Cola, Verizon, Lockheed Martin, Altria, Conoco. So this is just a very diversified ETF that owns a lot of the higher yielding stocks. And I do like their holdings. Like if we go to Warren Buffett's portfolio, he owns a lot of those similar stocks like Coca-Cola. He has Chevron as well. Yeah, Warren Buffett loves dividend stocks. You think DCAing into your losing positions? Yeah, of course. Again, not financial advice. I've been dollar cost averaging into a lot of my losing positions. Like, check this one out right here. And whenever I buy it, you can see where I buy the stock. Also, like this company right here, we've been dollar cost averaging into this company as well. So, but also, you want to make sure you're dollar cost averaging into a high quality company. Yo, what up, Zergio? Hey, this is a brokerage right here. If you want to download this brokerage, it's in the link tree in my bio, the very first link there. It's free. So, look at this right here. I've dollar cost averaging into this stock, but the stock's at an all time low. So, you want to make sure you're buying a high quality company. Like one, again, not financial advice that I would recommend dollar cost averaging into is an Amazon. And that's what I'm starting to do right now. Just started my entire position the past week here. So, yeah, that. Yeah, Rivera, I do really like SCHD. What a balag. Sorry, I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong there, but XAUU. So is that a currency? Well, when you compare the XAU to the US dollar, what is XAU? I think that's just another country's currency. I just don't know why. I don't know which one, but it's at an all-time high. So, geez, compared to the dollar. Big day for tech stocks tomorrow. Yeah, what up, Thomas? I think so. Check this out. If we go to my portfolio right here, I like Robinhood because it has the overnight market. We're up 0.46% right now. Yeah, here are all the stocks that we own in here, by the way. Here's all my stocks by total equity. So my larger holdings are at the top there. Yeah, these are a lot of dividend stocks like McDonald's, Constellation Energy, Google, and Meta. Those are like dividend growth companies. So yeah, that's my main portfolio right here. Yeah, here's my total percent change. We're down on Google. We're down 2.5% on Google. We're down 2.5% on United Rentals. So yeah, this is my Robinhood portfolio. Let me know what you think. Do you still like INOD? So yeah, if we head over here to my Roth IRA, a Roth IRA is a tax-free retirement account. So if you like double your money on a stock, you don't have to pay any taxes, which is cool. But you can't withdraw the money until you retire or as a first time down payment if you're a first time house buyer. Anyway, someone asked me, would I still buy this stock? And I personally am. I actually just bought literally on April 7th, I bought another 5 shares of this company. So not that long ago. And I'll show you why I like this stock so much. Again, they're really risky. So I don't want to put a huge amount of money in them. Like I have $300 in this stock. I wouldn't really want to put too much more. But here's why I love this company. And you can't make this up. They have no net debt. 5 of the Magnificent Seven are their biggest customers. Google, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, and Amazon are all customers of this guy right here. And look at this. The revenue is up 161% year over year. So Innodata is growing incredibly. And also they're making net income now. And that's real. The assets are growing. The cash flow is growing. So I really like that one. XAU is gold, I think. Oh, that actually makes sense. Oh yeah, I usually look at IAU. IAU is the literal, no way. Look at gold. All-time high on gold. So if you own any physical gold, yo, what up, what, 151? When did the account get back? Yo, this account might not come back. So I'm very scared. If y'all want to support me, for the 90 of y'all on the TikTok stream, I'm also streaming on YouTube right now. So if you want to support me, head over to my YouTube channel. I'm streaming on there. You can also watch it on replay. My YouTube channel is in the link tree in my bio. It's also just called Nathan Robert if you want to type it in. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I just did I've been investing for exactly 3 years. I started investing 3 years ago. I just did a 3-year stock portfolio update if you want to check it out. Literally made it 2 days ago. What up? Ritsu, he says, how do you make 20K? I don't know. You got to get that from a job. Back in the day, I used to own a stock called NBR. Let's check it out. So NBR stock. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys got any stocks I'm going to look at. Ooh, what up, Nate? We'll look at Apple as well. I love Apple. So, dang, look at this stock right here. They're close to an all-time low. Yeah, good thing you sold this stock. Yeah, they're only a $400 million company. They're international drilling. So they're like an oil and gas company. Yeah, look at that. They're struggling to stay profitable. They're actually losing a lot of money. So I can see why that stock's not doing too good. So yeah, let's give a quick analysis on Apple. That's Warren Buffett's top holding. If we go to Warren Buffett's portfolio right here, 22% of his portfolio is in Apple. Actually, I think if we go to Nancy Pelosi's portfolio, it's also her largest holding. Yeah, 26% of her portfolio is in Apple. So smart investors are owning Apple for a reason, and that's because the fundamentals here are just so great. Look at their smartphone market share, 23% smartphone market share. The PE is a 31, which is historically really fair for Apple, a 31 PE. Yo, GCT, hey, this is a brokerage right here. If you want to get this brokerage, it's in the link tree in my bio. It's the first link there. It's free. But look at this. Most of Apple's revenue comes from the iPhone. Then they also have their services business, the wearables like the iPods, the iPad. But the services revenue is really cool. Whenever you buy something in the App Store, they take a huge 30% fee on it, high margin for them. And here's why they've been so affected by tariffs. A lot of their revenue comes from outside the US. Like, look, 25% EU. Literally 17% of their business is from China. So Apple's really affected from international headwinds. So I just love that. That's Apple's one to just buy and hold for the long run. Yo, what 1 5? Thanks so much for the goats, man. Thanks so much for the gifts there. I really appreciate you, friend. Apple's on my watch list for tomorrow. Yeah, David, I think that one's a great one to buy and hold. That's a Mag 7 stock I don't own individually yet. You know, if you own the S&P 500 or like Berkshire Hathaway, you have a lot of exposure to Apple already, but I don't have pretty much any exposure to Apple. You know, I love Apple. I'm locked in the Apple ecosystem. I have the phone, I have the AirPods. So yeah, let's see. I don't have a Mac computer though. So let's see. Can we look at STSS? Yeah, Ashton, sorry, I hope you're still here. This is I hope you don't buy this one. If you look in the top right, this whole company is worth $408,000. So the whole company's worth 400,000. Please don't buy this one. They lose 4 million and they don't have revenue. So they literally don't sell a product or a service. So yeah, I'd be very careful that one. Can you show Warren Buffett's top 10 holdings? Yeah, sure. I'll be quick about this. You know, obviously he has some of the higher yielding names like AXP, Coca-Cola, Bank of America, Chevron, Moody's. You know, then he has DaVita and Kraft Heinz. You know, Kraft Heinz. You know, mac and cheese, ketchup stock. They own Lunchables. So let's see. WCT just got listed. Let's check it out. This is good data. Yeah, no, hey, Made. Yeah, this is a free brokerage right here. You do not have to pay to get this, but yeah, anyway, if you want to get this brokerage, it's in the link tree in bio, the very first link there. But check this out. I would stay away from WCT. They're only a $12 million company. Y'all found some like risky stocks here. And they're another one that basically has no revenue, $1 million of revenue. I would just stay away from that one, my friend. Uh let's see. Ooh, Nvidia. Yeah, we can check out Nvidia's stock as well. So NVDA. I haven't looked at them tonight. I own AMD. I thought he bought BYD. Warren Buffett doesn't own BYD. Berkshire Hathaway owns BYD. That's Warren Buffett's individual portfolio we were just looking at. We weren't looking at Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, which is much different. You know, they own railroads, Geico, insurance, a lot of other businesses. Anyway, let's get back to Nvidia right here. Yeah, Brian, what's up? We'll check Bull after this. Yeah, sorry for not getting to that. I'll try to get to all the stocks here. My fault if I don't get to them. But check this out. Look at their PC GPU market share. Here's what's so cool about Nvidia. With Nvidia, you get an 18% GPU market share. Their automotive business is growing. You know, they partner with GM, WeRide, and here's why Nvidia deserves all the hype. You can't make up this sales growth. Like the fundamentals are actually growing. The sales are up 101%. I mean, that's so impressive, and not just the sales, but the bottom line. They made 22 billion of net income just in the most recent quarter. I mean, they're printing net income. Again, none of this is financial advice, but I wouldn't sell Nvidia because the fundamentals are still growing. Until the fundamentals go away, you know, I'm a buyer of Nvidia right now. So let's see. Oh yeah, so BULL. So this is Webull. It's a brokerage right here. I think they just went public right here. They're worth $6 billion. So yeah, I guess they just got publicly listed. Yeah, they're up 102% in the after hours market. Wow. So unfortunately they just went public, so I don't have any data to look at really. There's not much data. So Kmart, wait. Is Kmart a stock? I don't know if I think they went bankrupt or something. So here's Tempest AI. Nancy Pelosi's husband actually took a huge stake into Tempest AI. And this is a niche company. You know, they're in the genomics industry. Check this out. The genomics revenue is at a new record. It's up 31% year over year, but also their data and services business is a real winner. It's up 45% year over year. So that's some incredible growth. Now, you still got to be careful. They're still losing money. Check that out. But if you notice in the most recent quarter, they only lost 13 million. That's the least amount of net income ever lost in one quarter. So there is some hope. I'm curious to see how the future is with Tempest AI. So that one's a decent one. Again, those are the kind of companies you don't want to put a lot of money into, like a Tempest AI, because that's kind of like a really risky stock. Like this company right here, INOD, look at them the past 5 years. They're up 4,300%. I really like this company, but I don't want to put a meaningful, it's just really risky. Like SoFi, Supermicro, those are risky ones. Oh, the MAGS ETF. So yeah, this is an interesting ETF. It's literally just 7 stocks right here. This ETF just owns 7 stocks, and it's that magnificent 7. So it's literally just Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Meta. So, and they own some treasury bills. Anyway, it moves exactly how the Mag 7 would. So it's a really interesting ETF right there. Um, I'd just rather pick and choose some of my more favorite Mag 7 stocks. SpaceX, SpaceX is not public. I think SpaceX is only public through one of Kathy Wood's ETFs. Kathy Wood owns a lot of ETFs. One of her ETFs has a little bit of SpaceX, but SpaceX is not a publicly traded stock. Ooh, someone said MicroStrategy. So yeah, this is a crypto stock. MicroStrategy really just moves with Bitcoin. So we can check this out right here. Yeah, we'll check out SOXL. Yeah, and we'll look at SoFi. Yeah, so MicroStrategy, they're just a leveraged Bitcoin stock. Whenever Bitcoin goes up 1%, MicroStrategy goes up like 2%. Look at the balance sheet. Oh, hey, what up, stand up? Hey, this is a brokerage right here. It's called Moomoo. If you want to get this brokerage, go to the link tree in my bio. It's the first link there. It's free. But look at how their assets just like blew up. That's all the Bitcoin that they bought. So MicroStrategy's just bought a boatload of Bitcoin, and that's the real reason you're buying them. You're not buying them for their software business because that's down 3% year over year, but that's basically just leverage Bitcoin. So yeah, that's interesting. So SOXL, yeah, we'll look at SoFi after this. I do own some SoFi stock, but not much of them because they're pretty risky. Yeah, dang, look at that. SOXL, they have not done good. This is the leverage. I would stay away from these 3x leveraged ETFs right here. Um, so so if you own a stock, or actually, I won't go into that. I would just stay away from SOXL. You have to short-term swing trade that one. Yo, Shark Tooth. No way, dude. I really appreciate the roses there. Thank you, Shark Tooth. Um, yeah, hey, thanks for all the roses, dude. Thoughts on Rolls Royce? RYCEY. Yeah, I got you, dude. Let's check out Rolls Royce stocks. So, a lot of people know Rolls Royce for the cars, but did you know this company is actually an aerospace company? Oh, Shark Tooth said ADA. Yeah, we'll look at Cardano. Yeah, my fault. Yo, thanks for all the lightning bolts and chili peppers. Thank you so much, Shark Tooth. Yeah, we'll look at that after this. So, here's Rolls Royce. A lot of people know them for their cars, but they're really an aerospace company. 50% of their revenue comes from aerospace. Then they're in defense and power systems. So yeah, that's what's really cool about them. And they're making net income now. Full year 2024, they made $3 billion of net income. So yeah, Rolls Royce is a cool company. But yeah, ADA, do you like, so this is Cardano. So I actually used to own a lot of Cardano. What's cool about Cardano is you can stake it and get like a 5% yield. So I actually had my Cardano staked, earning a 5% yield, but I don't own them anymore. I don't really own any crypto, but when I did own crypto, I did really like Cardano. I wish I could give you more thoughts on them. That probably wasn't too helpful. I apologize. But if you got a stock you want me to look at, I got you, Shark Tooth. Thanks again for all the gifts there. Really appreciate that. Um, Yo, what up? Brendy said PLBY. Wait, is that? Wait, so this is that company. Wow, this stock has not done too good. They're only worth $90 million. Wow. So this company ain't worth much. So direct to consumer licensing, how's that business doing? So yeah, look at this. That's really unfortunate. Wow. If you're looking on an annual basis, it's down bad. So what about their licensing? So the licensing revenue is pretty much at an all-time low. So yeah, I can see why this company hasn't done too good. So yeah, they're losing net income every quarter. They now have more liabilities than they have assets. So all the wrong things are happening for this company. Declining sales, declining net income, more liabilities than assets now. So I would stay away from that one, in my opinion. But it's cool. I didn't know they were publicly traded. Um, Yo, Jada, no way. JADA. Thanks so much for the 3 goats there, for the 3 gifts. I appreciate that. Um, IBIT, yeah, IBIT is literally just Bitcoin in an ETF. So, what's cool is since Bitcoin's in an ETF, it's SIPC insured for $250,000. So you don't have to worry about, losing your crypto. So yeah, that's cool. Um, what about China stocks? There's only 2 Chinese stocks I like really, and that's Alibaba and Tencent. Has anyone heard of like Supercell, PUBG, Fortnite? They own 50% of Fortnite. That's all under this stock right here, Tencent. Like Clash of Clans, Clash Royale. I think they own Riot Games, which is like League of Legends. They own a lot of huge games. So they're a $520 billion company. That's my favorite Chinese stock. Then Alibaba. This is like the Chinese Amazon. You know, what's the valuation? Wow, $250 billion company. The PE's a 15. They're trading at 15 times net income, and they just make so much net income. They made 6 billion the most recent quarter, 6 billion the quarter before, then 3 billion. So wow, they're making like 15 billion of net income a year. So let's keep going here. Ooh, here's a really cool stock. Yo, T-Roy said TSM. I love Taiwan Semiconductor. And this is a nice dividend growth company. So check this out. They have a 1.45% dividend yield. And yo, Shark Tooth for the 6 chili peppers. Thanks so much, dude. for the gifts. So they have a 1.45% dividend yield and a safe payout ratio. But check this out. They make those 5 nanometer wafer chips. Their market share is just growing. It went from 61% to 67%. So they're growing their market share. And look at the net income. They made 11 billion of net income, 10 billion the quarter before. So they're just making so much money. How do you check people's profiles? Yeah, you go to the Discover tab. I have a whole tutorial on how to use this brokerage right here. Yeah, if you want to get this brokerage right here, it's called Moo. It's in the link tree in my bio. It's the very first link there. If you want to get it, it's free. Yeah, you can track like Nancy Pelosi's portfolio. Anyway, let's keep going here. Micron Technology. Yo, I do like Micron Technology as well. They're kind of like Nvidia. I think they make like semiconductor solutions. So let me check out where the revenue comes from. So compute and networking. So yeah, wow, look at the growth of that. That is up 108% year over year. So that's some fantastic growth. Storage unit, that's up 53%. So both of their main segments are growing, and so is the bottom line here. Look at that. Um, they're making net income every quarter. I remember if we zoom out on this company, they used to lose net income every quarter. Now they're making net income every quarter. So Micron's really turned things around. I do like them. People are starting to take them more serious. What is Batman? Yo, that's basically just big tech. The leading tech companies like Broadcom, Apple, Tesla. Yeah, Broadcom's actually the largest one in here, but yeah, basically the QQQ, you could call it, um, but not really. What are your opinions on BYD? Yeah, that's a company that Berkshire Hathaway owns. So basically, Warren Buffett took a stake into this. So this is BYD. It's the Chinese Tesla. And if we didn't have tariffs on China, dude, these cars would be all over the U.S. They make great cars at a low price, and they make a lot of net income. They actually made more net income than Tesla did in 2024. So yeah, they make so much money. I do like them. Ooh, so yo, Jada, thanks again for the 5 roses. Let's check out UNH Group. So yeah, I really love United Health. We use Optum RX. So we're a customer here. Look at that. 33% of their business comes from Optum RX. And wow, look, like you can't make up this growth. This is why United Health, these insurance companies are doing so good. The revenue is 133 billion. What about United Healthcare? Look at that. They make 300 billion of revenue from this. It's nuts. So anyway, and if we go to the operating profit, they got hacked and they literally had to that's why their net income went negative right there. They had to pay out a one-time fee. But if we go to their operating profit, they literally just make 8 billion of net income every quarter. So, and they have a nice yield. You get a 1.4% yield. The payout ratio is actually way lower than 52%. It was from the one-time adjustment. Anyway, United Health, that's a great buy and hold for the long run. Yo, Austria, thanks so much for the follow. Yeah, if y'all want to hit the follow button, we go live every day, twice a day. We'll be live tomorrow for sure. So I'd appreciate that. And I don't sell anything. Watch out for people impersonating me. I don't have a Discord. I don't have a WhatsApp, Telegram. I don't have a course or a book. So watch out for that. I'm just on here giving my opinion. And again, none of this is financial advice. Like you could lose a lot of money on a stock. Like look at this one right here. We're down bad on this one. So anyway, always do your own research. Yo, Shark Tooth, dude. Thanks so much for the lightning bolts, dude. He said DRO stock, Drone Shield. Is that? Oh, so this is an Australian company. Let's check them out. So they're worth $870 million. Let's see. There's some news. Jumps over 14% on 32 million Asia Pacific defense contracts. So hey, that must be some good news. Yeah, they're up 12% on the day. The, so actually, look at that. For the full year 2024, they had 57 million of revenue, and they only lost $1 million. Wow, look at that balance sheet. That's a phenomenal balance sheet. Actually, I do like DRO. We'll switch it to USD here. So 220 million of assets, pretty much no debt. So actually, out of all the like risky companies, I do kind of like that one. It's still pretty risky though. Ooh, yo, Crystal said Salesforce CRM. Yo, Crystal, thanks so much for the tiny dino. Hey, full transparency, I do own some Salesforce stocks. So if you head over here to my main taxable account, check this out. Salesforce, I own 8 shares of them, and we got a pending dividend from them, a $3 dividend. You know, they're a dividend growth company. But here's what I love about CRM. They own Slack, if anyone heard of Slack before, but I love how diversified that they are. Look, they're in services, they're in sales, platform, integration, marketing, and all these businesses, if you look at it on an annual basis, they're all at an all-time high. They're all at records. The sales at a record, platforms at a record, integrations at a record. So all the businesses are at a record, and so are the profits. Look at this net income. They're literally making 1 to 2 billion of net income every quarter, and the free cash flow growth is insane, man. Oh, yo, hey, try not to spam here. Hold up. Um, so yeah, CRM's kind of cool, and you get the dividend growth. So yeah, I personally really like that one. That's a big software name. So a lot of Amazon uses Slack and uses Salesforce for a ton of their custom or for their uh, employees. So anyway, NVO right here. So yeah, let's. This is the company that owns Ozempic. Has anyone heard? Sorry. I need some water here. But yeah, if you've heard of Ozempic before, this is the company that owns it. But unfortunately, the Ozempic patent expires in 2026. So that's what's happening here. Yo, what 1-5? See you later, man. Have a great rest of your night. And what up, Oliver? So yeah, Novo Nordisk, I didn't realize their patent for Ozempic actually expires in 2026. And, most of the revenue comes from their obesity care prescriptions, like Ozempic, and this company's right now the fundamentals are great. They're making so much net income, 3 to 4 billion of net income every quarter. They have a great yield, a 2% dividend yield, so 18 PE. But yeah, I really like NVO, but I I gotta be careful. I'd probably rather buy an Eli Lilly, to be honest with you. So yo, T Rock said LUNR. Yo, that phone, yo, Suzuki man, what's up, dude? Yeah, the phone battery's getting low. Yo, Suzuki man, you got a stock you want me to look at? We can look at EOG. What should we look at here? So yeah, here's my main portfolio right here. We're in the overnight market up 0.4% right now. So let's see. So C said SYTA. What is this company? SYTA. So I've not heard of this company before. So Sayata Mobile. So this one looks extremely risky. If you look in the top right, the whole company's worth $5 million. So this is a $5 million company. Like, please don't buy this one. Let's see, what are their sales? So they just lost 8 million this quarter, and the revenue was 1 million. So yeah, please stay away from that one. Like, looks so risky. So, user9 said Meta. Yo, I haven't looked at Meta today. So Meta's I own this company, so I might be biased again. I got 4 shares of Meta, but look at their active users. They literally have 3.35 billion daily active users. So Meta's incredible, and so's the bottom line growth. They made 21 billion of net income just in the most recent quarter, and it's up 48%. The most impressive part was how they grew their net margin. Their net margin grew 23% to 43%. So if you go spend $100 at Meta, 43 of that is net income after tax profit for Meta. It's ridiculous the margins they have. They own Facebook, Instagram, and hey, I might be biased, but because I own them, but they're just a really great company. I got 4 shares in them. We're up 9.95% on them. So yeah. Meta's cool. LUNR. Oh yeah, my fault. We forgot to look at that one. LUNR. So this is the lunar rover stock. They literally send a bunch of rovers to the moon. I remember I watched one of their landings live back here. They sent a rover to the moon. The rover tipped over and didn't collect any data, and the stock fell to literally $3 because of it. But now they got new government contracts. The stocks, well, it was back to like 15, but now it's at 7. Anyway, I would not. Nothing's really blowing me away here, to be honest with you. Like, the revenue growth is really impressive, but they're losing net income. Like, they lost 165 million. So this is just one I'm just staying away from. Like, honestly, if I was looking for a space stock, I would buy RKLB. Now, this is a very impressive space stock, in my opinion, and I'll be quick about this, but they send rockets into space. They also have a ton of government contracts. They have a $1.3 billion backlog of orders, but look at their space systems revenue. It is up 75% year over year. I mean, you can't make that up. That is impressive sales growth. So that's what I like about Rocket Lab over Lunar, probably. So, Wolf78 said Walmart. Yeah. So, Walmart right here. This is a great grocery store. Look at that. The stock's done amazing. I actually kind of own their competitor. If I head over here to my Roth IRA, if someone said, "What's in your Robinhood account?" I'll show you real quick. Here's Kroger right here. I actually own Walmart's competitor. I got some Kroger, but Walmart's great. Yeah, so here's my main taxable account. Hey, if you go to if y'all want to support me on the TikTok stream, go to my YouTube channel. I just made a whole entire stock portfolio update. I've been investing for exactly 3 years, so I just did a 3-year update, and I'll show you every stock that I own in there. But yeah, here's my main taxable account, the Robinhood portfolio. Anyway, let's keep going here. Oh yeah, here I'll show you how my Robinhood portfolio is doing. Yeah, my YouTube channel is called Nathan Robert. It's also in the link tree in my bio. We're still down 8.3% year to date. I just like being transparent. So let's see here. Lucas said TKO. So this is a very niche company. Has anyone heard of the UFC or the WWE. Well, this stock owns both of those. Check that out. It's like a perfect 50-50. The UFC is half, and then the WWE is the other half. So yeah, this is a very cool company, in my opinion. And they get like a lot of high margin licensing fees and royalties, which is cool. So yeah, um, that's a weird ticker symbol. I can't look at the ALMT. That's a weird ticker symbol. So here's Tempest AI. This is the company that was bought by Nancy Pelosi's husband. And I actually really like the growth here. Check this out. If you look at their genomics business, it's literally at an all-time high. It's literally up 31% to a new record. So, but not only the genomics business, look at their data and services. This is the real winner here. It's up also to a new record, up 45%. So, and if we look at the net income, they've lost the least amount of money in the most recent quarter. They only lost 13 million. But you know, I like that one more than I dislike it. Nancy Pelosi's husband actually bought that stock. So yeah, here's Nancy Pelosi's portfolio. You know, she's been buying some weird stuff. Like she's been buying PayPal, Comcast, Disney. So anyway, um, let's see. Let's see. CoreWeave. Yo, what's the CoreWeave ticker symbol? We'll check that one out right here. GR. Yo, Dante, what's up? GRRR. Let's check it out. This is Gorilla Technology. So, you know, let's actually check out the fundamentals. So they're a $300 million company. So that's not a big market cap. What are their sales? So, yeah, they actually haven't sold anything in 2023. So they don't have any, or I mean, 2025 or four. They don't have any sales. And, yeah, there's just no revenue here. I would just be careful. There's probably some good news about that company. I'm not sure, but $300 million. That probably wasn't too helpful. My bad, but I don't know. Yo, Ray said, do you recommend getting calls for Tesla? You know, Kathy would say that, but you know what? Let's actually do some analysis on Tesla stock. I haven't looked at them today. You know, Tesla is Kathy Wood's largest holding. So there's some good news and there's some bad news about Tesla. So the bad news is obviously the high PE. They're trading at over 123 times net income. And look at their total vehicles delivered. It actually just fell 13% year over year, deliveries by model and everything. And we can kind of see this in their automotive sales. Like, look, their automotive sales are down 5% year over year. So they're trading at a high PE, and they unfortunately just lost their growth. But there is a little bit of hope here. If we go to their energy generation business, it's only 10% of the revenue, but look at the growth here. I mean, it's up 112% year over year. So that's actually seeing some really nice growth. But anyway, um, yeah, they're still making net income every quarter, so Tesla's definitely not going bankrupt. But the valuation just seems too high on Tesla for me. Let's see. Yo, what up, Max? He said SSO. I'm telling you. Let's check that out. So this is the ProShares S&P 500 ETF. So let's see. What are their top holdings? Oh, so this, yeah, this is pretty much the S&P 500. They got Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia. Then they have some Treasury bills. So looks like they're maybe doing some options or something. Amazon, Meta. So yeah, I mean, the stock price looks like it's done pretty good since 2019. So, hey, what happened? CRWV. So yeah, this is CoreWeave right here. I remember Nvidia bought this IPO. Nvidia bought 300 million of this stock right as they IPO'd. They just IPO'd, so unfortunately we don't have much revenue behind them, or we can't look at the revenue history. But for the most recent quarter, wow, they did 750 million of sales. So that was an impressive quarter. Oh, yo, Nay said AAPL. So yeah, dude, I love Apple. You know, you can't go wrong buying and holding this one for the long run. You know, that's the largest holding in the S&P 500 and the QQQ. But this is why they're so great. Look at Apple's smartphone market share. They actually have a 23% smartphone market share. And look, most of the revenue comes from their iPhone business and they have their services, which whenever you buy something in the App Store, Apple takes a 30% fee on that. It's all high margin fee for them. You know, then they have their wearables. But most of Apple's revenue comes from outside the US. Like, look, 25% EU, and then we have 17% China, Asia, so Japan. So Apple's in an internationally diverse is internationally diverse, and they print net income 36 billion in the most recent quarter. You get a 0.5% dividend, low payout ratio. So yeah, they're a nice dividend growth company. Now, hey, a lot of people are locked in the Apple ecosystem. I am on the Apple iPhone right now. Please show me how to navigate. Yeah, you just go to the Discover tab and then you click on Insights. Yeah, this is a brokerage. If you want to get this brokerage I'm on right here, it's in the link tree in my bio. It's the very first link there. It's free. Yeah, you can track like oh yeah, we were looking at Nvidia. You know, Nvidia owns some individual companies like WeRide, we dude, Nvidia took a stake into WeRide on this day. Stock rallied to 44 bucks. Now they're all the way down to 9. I'd stay away from WeRide. But yeah, don't buy a company just cuz one owns one. But actually, here's a company Nvidia owns that I really like. Check out APLD. Again, not financial advice, but here's what's so interesting about this stock right here no one talks about. Look at their right here cloud service revenue. Now, this is impressive. This is what I look for in a company. The sales are up 20 or it's up to 27 million, up 500%. Literally the sales were nothing a year ago. Now it's 27 million. So very impressive. You still got to be careful. They're still losing net income, but they'll grow out of that's the hope there. Yo, Jenny said PayPal stock. Yo, Nancy Pelosi actually just took a stake into PayPal because the valuation is now super low on PayPal. Check this out. I'll actually show you this. The PE is a 15. You know, historically, that's so low. That's worse than the 2020 dip. They're trading at the lowest valuation ever. What's their total payment volume? They have 437 billion yen. That's crazy. But yeah, the net income right here, this might be why the stock is flat. The net income is down 20% year over year, but they're pretty much just making a billion of net income every quarter. Free cash flow is even better. They're making more like 1.5 billion of free cash flow a quarter. So, and then they just do a ton of stock buybacks. They have a bit of debt, but yeah, I actually I like PayPal. I think they'll be a winner in the long run. Uh, let's see. Ooh, this is a really cool company, AVGO. This is Broadcom right here. Yo, um this is an insane dividend growth company. You have a 1.2% dividend yield with this company, which is pretty cool. But look at this. A lot of people know them for their semiconductor solutions, but no one talks about their infrastructure software. Check this out. Broadcom's infrastructure software went from, 2 billion to 6.7 billion in the most recent quarter. I mean, that is impressive. And that's why they deserve all the hype. And also, the bottom line, they made 6 billion of free cash flow just in the most recent quarter. 5.5 billion of net income. So Broadcom, in my opinion, a great growth company. Um, let's see here. Noah said ASML. So let's see. Yeah, this is the chip making manufacturer. So I actually do like this one. So check this out. They're an EU company, I believe, and they actually just had a record quarter. We go to the net income right here. The net income was $2.8 billion. That's a record net income. They've never made more net income than the most recent quarter, and yet the stock is heavily suppressed right here. So I actually think this one's at a decent buy the dip opportunity. You get a 1% yield on them. They're the chip making manufacturer. They do have some customer concentration like Intel, Samsung, and one other company. They're like the only three customers, but they literally just to ship one of their machines to you, it takes 3 planes. So let's see. What about ASTS? Yeah, hey, what up, William? I don't really like ASTS right here. Yo, Todd, what's up, dude? Yeah, we'll go check the market after this. So this is ASTS Space Mobile. Right now, they just have no revenue. Literally in the most recent quarter, the sales were $1.9 million. I mean, they have no sales. And on top of that, they lost 50 million, 300 million the quarter before. So I really want to see this company make some sales. The assets are growing. Actually, I think if we look right here, yeah, look at this. If we, according to the analyst, the revenue is going to be 8 million, but again, it's only 8 million. What's the market cap? 7.3 billion. So I'm staying away from ASTS Space Mobile. They're kind of like a startup. They don't have any revenue right now. So I'd be careful with them. Actually, here's one that I really like. If I was looking for a growthier, risky name, I would check out SoFi Technologies. Again, not financial advice. I do own this one, but look at this. A lot of people know SoFi for their lending, but in their financial services, look at their financial services revenue growth. I mean, incredible. It's up 85% to a new record. That's why SoFi deserves all the hype. And also the net income here. If we zoom out, no one took SoFi serious. They're losing net income every quarter. They were losing like 100 million a quarter. Well, now look at this. They're actually making net income every quarter. So nice. I loved Broadcom before they split and sold after. Hey, you must have sold them for a hefty profit, Suzuki, man. What's up, dude? Um, yeah, hey, we're streaming on YouTube and TikTok right now. If y'all want to support me, head over to the YouTube stream. You can replay it if you missed anything. Uh, so let's see. Oh yeah, how's the market doing today? Let me go to the Robinhood portfolio. So we expect stocks. Yeah, here's us in the overnight market. We're up 0.45%. What's the S&P 500 doing? So the S&P is up 0.65%. So hey, it looks like tomorrow, if it follows the trend right now, tomorrow's going to be a green day. And here are all the stocks that we own in here. So yeah. QQQ slash Microsoft. Yeah. Hey, here's a quick tip. I would buy QQQM instead of QQQ. It's actually the exact same thing with the lower expense ratio. Same NASDAQ 100 strategy. Yeah, this ETF right here, it's just Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon. I love all these stocks right here. I'd happily own them individually too. So yeah, hey, what up, him? He said realty income. So you know what? Let's go look at realty income over here. I'll be quick about this one. This is the monthly paying dividend stock. They're in the S&P 500. You won't outperform the market in the long run. Like look at this. If we zoom out, this stock is below where it was in 2019. But what you do get is a monthly dividend, a near like 6% dividend yield. But yeah, that's a dividend play. So they own a bunch of triple net leases. Their main customers are like 7-Eleven, uh, like they own gyms, Walgreens, dollar stores, those kind of stuff. Green Day tomorrow, yeah, hey, it's looking like it. If you look in the overnight market right now, we're up 0.46%. S&P's up in the overnight market, so yeah, that's pretty cool. We can check out our Roth IRA as well. Yeah, we have a small Roth IRA. It's only 700 bucks. Wait, dang, we're up 20% in 1 week. I guess we're really comparing that to the bottom. That just shows how volatile it is. We're up 20%, but we're still down on the month. So anyway. Oh, this I haven't looked at this stock today. So here's Palantir. Yeah, if you guys got any stocks you want me to look at, let me know in the chat. Oh yeah, we got to look at Spotify and Shopify. Shopify, Spotify. Hey, they sound similar. Anyway, this is Palantir right here. Incredible contract company. They have so much of the revenue comes from the government. Literally, every police station uses Palantir's AI data. I mean, it's crazy. And the revenue's up 40% year over year. Incredible government revenue growth, and same with the commercial revenue with like S&P 500 companies. It's up 31% year over year. And they have no debt at all. They have this monster balance sheet. Palantir has no debt at all and 5.23 billion of cash, earning them a lot of interest. So Palantir is a great fundamentals play, but the valuation seems a little high on them. How did you set up your Roth IRA? Yeah, I have a Roth IRA with the Robinhood brokerage. If you want to get this brokerage right here, it's the second link in the link tree in my bio. They even I like them because of their match program. Like, look, if you look at them on my screen, I deposited $211. They gave me a nice little match here. But yeah, this brokerage is called Robinhood. If you want to get it, second link in the link tree in my bio. In this app right here is the first link. This one does not offer a Roth IRA, so that's why I have my Roth IRA with this brokerage. Because Moomoo does not offer one. Anyway, here's Shopify right here. Let's go check out Shopify stock. I used to have a Shopify store. I love this company. They're a Canadian company, but look at this right here. The revenue is at a literal new record for the full year 2024. So Shopify is an incredible growth company, and they're also profitable. Look at the free cash flow, 600 million of free cash flow in the most recent quarter. 1.3 billion of net income in the most recent quarter. So Shopify deserves all the hype. They're an incredible growth company. I like them. You buying any BTC? Not really. I'm actually gonna buy more Robinhood stock. I think Robinhood kind of follows what Bitcoin does because so much of the revenue comes from Bitcoin transaction fees or crypto transaction fees. But I like Robinhood. But Bitcoin, if I was gonna own a crypto, I'd want to own Bitcoin. Ryan likes it. Hey, oh yeah, WSO. Yeah, let's check it out, Suzuki man. WSO. So this is Watsco. I have never looked at them actually. So this is the first time I'm doing it. So they have a $21 billion market cap. Let's see. So the PE's a 38. So they do air conditioning, heating. So wow, look at the annual revenue growth. I mean, the growth is kind of slowed, but it is up 9% year over year. But if we look at it on an annual basis from full year 2023 to 2024, it was only up 4.5%. But that's not all that matters. Maybe they grew their net margin. So sales were up 9, net income was up 17. So yeah, they actually grew their net margin 7%. There's a lot of factors here. What about the dividend? So yeah, 2.2% yield. The payout ratio is a little high, 80% payout ratio. But Wasco, I like air conditioning. They have a great balance sheet. So yeah, actually, I like them. Oh, PSA, yo, is that? I own their competitor. I own CubeSmart, but I love Public Storage. This is a self-storage REIT, and they have a 4.3% dividend yield, and the dividend is completely sustainable. So yeah, they self-storage operations. You can kind of see that's where all the revenue comes from. I actually own Public Storage's competitor. So I actually own CubeSmart right here. This is my highest yielding dividend stock. So they also do self-storage. And look at that. They actually have a much higher yield, a 5.4% dividend yield. Very safe, in my opinion, safe payout ratio. So yeah, CubeSmart is my bet for the self-storage industry. What do you think about the electronic exemption? How will it affect tech markets? Yeah, it's gonna really help out the Mag 7 the most. So that's pretty cool. I really appreciate you giving it about how to pay. Well, yeah, Brownsy, I really appreciate you. Yeah, hey, I don't sell anything. I don't have a course, book, WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord. I'm just here giving my opinion. The only thing I ask is if you want to help me out, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm also streaming on there. If you missed anything, you can replay it. My YouTube channel is called Nathan Robert. It's also in the link tree in my bio. It's the first link there. So here's JP Morgan stock. I really like this company right here. Oh, and yeah, again, nothing to this is financial advice, but this is my favorite bank. They've had some incredible stock price appreciation since 2019. And even if you buy JP Morgan right now, you still get a 2.2% dividend yield, and they have so much room to raise it. They only have a 24% payout ratio. We'll compare this to Bank of America in a second, but look at the net income JP Morgan makes. Literally, they make 15 billion of net income a quarter of net income. I mean, it's ridiculous. So extremely profitable. They have a 2% yield, and the payout ratio was a 25%. Now let's go compare that. We're in Warren Buffett's portfolio now. Let's go look at Bank of America. So this is another bank, and look at this one. They actually have not performed as well as JP Morgan did. Like, quite not as good. Look at that. They have a 2.7% yield, 31% payout ratio. So yeah, that's normal for the banks. Anyway, Bank of America is not bad either. Oh, someone said Wendy's. So I actually own McDonald's. McDonald's is actually over 100 times Wendy's market cap. I can't believe that. Did you know Wendy's, if you had to guess, how much do you think Wendy's is worth? Well, Wendy's is only worth 2.5 billion and McDonald's is worth 230 billion. So nearly exactly 100x. McDonald's is 100x size Wendy's. Unfortunately, McDonald's is winning. McDonald's just had the Minecraft meal deal. I feel bad for Wendy's. If you buy this one, you get a huge yield. What's their dividend? Actually, their dividends are kind of at risk right here. Well, actually, look at that. They're making 50 million of net income a quarter, but you get a 7.8% dividend, but the payout ratio is now 105. So that's not great. Dang, I feel bad, yo. Wendy's is slowly dying. Their business varies interesting. Bought the stock at 222. Oh, nice, Suzuki, man. Yo, here's a really high yielding stock. This is a very high yielding stock. It has a sustainable dividend. So check this out. If you buy this stock, you get a 7% qualified dividend, and the payout ratio is only a 61%. So they actually have some room to raise their dividend. They sell these, I can't say what they sell exactly just because of TikTok, but they make a lot of net income. A lot of people are uh, I'm not gonna say that word. Never mind. Let's see. None has said thoughts on BOME. Is that a stock right here? I don't think. Yeah, I don't. Um, I don't know what that is. WW, is that a stock as well? So WW International, is this a stock you're talking about? I hope not, because this whole company is worth $15 million. The whole market cap is 15 million. So I'd stay away from that one. What was that earlier? Yo, Emilo, what was the stock I was just looking at? Or what are you asking there? I want to help you out. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, look at that for WW. The revenue's down 10%. They lost their growth. They are making net income in the most recent quarter, but yeah, I'd stay away from that one. Looks really risky. The stock we were just looking at. Oh, we were looking at Wendy's and ticker symbol MO right here. MO. This is the company that has a really high, the 7% dividend that I think is sustainable. Again, not financial advice. Oh, here's a very cool stock. So here's Spotify technology. So I wish I was buying Spotify stock every month instead of paying for the subscription. So y'all won't believe this. We can see their premium or monthly active users went from 640 to 675. Wow. So they gained a lot of monthly active users. What about their premium? Yeah, so premium revenue. Look at this. I mean, this is why Spotify is just an incredible company. I mean, the premium revenue is growing like crazy. What about the free cash flow? Yeah, they made 900 million of free cash flow in the most recent quarter, 400 million of net income. So yeah, Spotify is an incredibly profitable company. Wow, you can't make that up. The valuation is really high on Spotify, but they deserve it because they're so high quality. So let's see here. Oh, here we go. SoFi Technology. So yeah, this is a fintech right here. I'll be really quick about this one. I've already went over them. Oh yeah. Also, I'll show you. I do own a little bit of SoFi Technologies. I bought them a long time ago. Yeah, I got 24 shares of SoFi. Literally bought this stock in January 2023. So we bought SoFi a very long time ago. But yeah, well, I love the growth here. Mainly their financial services revenue. Look at this. I mean, you can't make it up. It's at a new record, up 85% year over year. So yeah, incredible growth on there and incredible profits. Used to lose money, now they're making money. So yeah, SoFi's cool. Oh yeah, and SCHD. Yeah, let's check out what up user deleted. Yeah, let's check out SCHD. This is a high yield dividend ETF. So I actually like this one. They have a 4.1% dividend. So you get 1% of your money back every quarter if you buy this ETF. And it owns a lot of the high yielding Warren Buffett stocks like a Coca-Cola, Verizon, Altria, Pepsi, Chevron. Yeah, Chevron, Coca-Cola, those are both Warren Buffett stocks. Yeah, and they're great companies. Like, look at this right here. Here's Buffett's top 10 holdings. He owns Coca Cola, Bank of America, Chevron, Moody's, Kraft Heinz. So, yeah. What apps? Oh, hey, this is a brokerage right here. Yeah, if you want to download this brokerage, it's in the link tree in my bio. It's the very first link there. It's free. Ooh, here's a really cool stock. This is American Tower Corp, ticker symbol AMT. This is a real estate investment trust. They own a bunch of cell towers, and they're a very internationally diverse stock as well. Look, they're called American Towers. 62% of the revenue comes from America. Then they're in Brazil, Mexico, a lot of these emerging markets that are seeing a lot of growth, maybe, I don't know, but I do really like American Tower. They also have a sustainable 3.8% dividend yield. So, yeah, I do like AMT. What is your top high yield dividend stock? So, yeah. My highest yielding dividend stock, I'll be quick, is ticker symbol Cube right here. And as you can see, I've been loading the boat of dollar cost averaging into this stock right here. But if you look at their dividend yield right here, they have a 5.5% dividend. And in my opinion, it's completely sustainable. Thoughts on the energy stock IREN? So let's check it out. So IREN, so they're a $1.2 billion company. So this is a very small company. Um, Let's see. Do they have revenue? So the revenue, wow, look at that huge jump in the most recent quarter, 117 million, and they made 18 million of net income this quarter. That's fantastic. Even though they lost 50 million last quarter, things have changed since then. The revenue's up double since the previous quarter. Wow, look at that balance sheet. The assets are growing. So actually, IREN, I do like that one. That's why they're on my watch list. Hey, Jordan, what's up, homie? He said MAIN. This is another high yield dividend stock yield. What is a dividend yield? That's how much money the company gives you back a year. So, for example, Main Street Capital, this stock right here, has an 8% dividend. So if you invest $100, you get $8 back in a dividend. They can cut it at any time and raise it at any time, but they have a 70% payout ratio. They actually pay a monthly dividend. This is one of the few stocks, Main Street Capital. This is a company that has to pay out most of their income in the form of a dividend by law. So they're a BDC. So whenever you receive this dividend, it's actually taxed a little higher. It's actually taxed at short-term capital gains whenever you receive that dividend income. Unlike most dividend stocks, like if I go to my dividend portfolio right here, like a McDonald's, that's whenever I receive a qualified dividend from these companies, it's taxed at the lowest possible tax bracket. Here's what's so cool about dividends. I'll be really quick about this. If I make under 65,000, so whenever I receive a dividend in my taxable account, so like whenever I receive this $23 dividend from McDonald's, it's completely tax free, even though it's in my taxable account because they pay a qualified dividend. So, anyway, that's probably getting a little too confusing. I apologize. So let's keep going here. Yo, Ulysses, so cool to see you on here. Apple stock, yeah, yeah. Wait, APPL options? Wait, are you talking about? You must be talking about Apple. So yeah, dude, Apple. I'm even liking just to buy shares on Apple. Apple's one to just buy and hold for the long run. You get the 0.5% dividend, and huge smartphone market share, 23% smartphone market share. iPhone is most of their business and services. Whenever you buy something in the App Store, Apple takes a huge 30% fee on that. They also have like the wearables, like the AirPods, Mac. But here's why Apple's been hurt so much from tariffs. If we go to where their revenue comes from, look, only 36% of the revenue comes from the US. They have so much exposure to the EU and China and the rest of the world. So that's why I think Apple's getting hurt by tariffs, but still, they're printing net income. Uh, and their services business isn't really affected by that. Yo, Ulysses, no way for the 33 GGs to 33 Rosa. You're so kind, dude. I really appreciate you. Uh, and yeah, no problem, Jordan. Yeah, Main Street Capital. I really like them. BDC. Main Street Capital is a great one to hold in like a Roth IRA. And Main Street Capital makes so much money sometimes. They even pay special dividends. If you notice that, they pay like 2 times in 1 month sometimes, which is cool. Yeah, look at the overnight market. Looks like stocks are going to be green tomorrow. Who knows? Something could change since now and tomorrow morning. But the S&P 500's up 0.7, Nvidia's up 3%, Amazon, Tesla's up 1 point. Oh, wait, Apple. Whoa. Apple's up 5%. It's probably from those tariffs where Trump exempted the I mean, they're still down the past month, 6%, but I mean, literally today, I mean, they're slowly going down, but they're up 5%. Not bad. Anyway, let's keep going here. If you were to put 5K, where would you put it in? Again, not financial advice here. I would put most of that in just a VOO, the S&P 500. The largest holding in there is Apple, but it's the top companies by market cap. So yeah, VOO, and then I play around by some individual companies, maybe like a Google or Amazon. So here's a high yielding dividend stock that I really like. Yo, Meow, what's up, dude? So yeah, Verizon, you get a high dividend, but you won't outperform the market. Like, look at them on the weekly. They are lower than they were in 2018. So the stock price is lower than they were in 2018. But what you do get is a 6% qualified dividend. So that's the best part about Verizon. You get the nice dividend. But, do beware, they do have quite a bit of debt. They like 180 billion of debt, but they do make 5 billion a quarter of net income. So uh, they have a they have a nice yield. Difference between VOO and SPY, it's just the managers that run them. Pretty much no difference at all. Uh, Both are great. Yeah, the Weeble IPO. I saw that. Which companies have you bought recently? Hey, if you go to my YouTube channel, my most recent video called Nathan Robert, I show you. I've been investing for exactly 3 years. I just had my 3 year anniversary since investing. I uploaded it yesterday. Go watch my 3 year stock portfolio update if you want to help me out. It's on my YouTube channel called Nathan Robert. It's also in the link tree in my bio. But yeah, here's all the stocks I've been buying, like FIX. I've been loading up on CubeSmart right here. Every time I buy the stock, you can see where I've been buying it. But again, um, don't listen to me. I'm not an expert. Look, we've been dollar cost averaging into this stock, but look, this stock's at like an all-time low. So yeah, you want to make sure you're buying a high quality company. Ooh, are you liking AVGO? Absolutely, I'm loving Broadcom. So Broadcom right here, a lot of people know them for their semiconductor solutions, which is great, but this is the hidden gem, their infrastructure software. You can't make this up. A year ago, it was 1.9 billion. Well, in the most recent quarter, it was 6.7 billion. It's up 200%. That's incredible growth on Broadcom, and so is the free cash flow. Free cash flow is 6 billion. Net income was 6.4 billion. Well, oh hey, Pumped, this is a brokerage right here. If you want to download this brokerage, it's in the link tree in my bio. It's the very first link there. It's free. Yeah, you can track like super investors' portfolio, like Buffett's top 10 holdings. Nancy Pelosi, she's been up to some shisty stuff. She's been buying PayPal, Comcast. So yeah, like Kathy Wood's portfolio. Yeah, link tree in bio, first link. Anyway, it's called Momo. So NBIS, yeah, why I'm here is I wanted to go to NVIDIA's portfolio, Andy. One of the stocks NVIDIA owns is actually NBIS. So here's Nebius right here. This is actually one that is a little confusing to me. Let's look where their revenue comes from. 50% comes from their e-commerce, mobility. Then they're in the search and portal business. And then they're in other businesses. So they're a diversified company, which is whoa. If we go to the revenue, I didn't realize this. All the revenue comes from Russia, so I didn't even realize that this is a Russian company. I did not know that till now. So I need to do some more research on this one. I'm not too sure why they've fallen so hard. Um, but Nvidia owns them. That is interesting. I wonder why Nvidia owns them. Where do you check out? Yeah, you go to the insight. You go to the Discover, and then you click on Insights. Uh, so let's see here. Fire said, how about ET? So this is Energy Transfer. This is one of the few companies. I would not buy this one. This company gives you a K1 tax form at the end of the year. I invested in a stock that gave you a K1 tax form. It cost me $400 with an accountant to get it filled out. They're known as like notoriously complicated tax forms to fill out. So I wouldn't buy this stock unless you put in over $1,000, in my opinion. But because they're an MLP, they're master limited partnership. It's technically not a stock. You're buying units because you're a partner. So they have a 7.8% dividend yield because they're an MLP. So they have a nice yield and they've had some decent stock price appreciation, but I'm avoiding it for the K1. Hopefully that was simple. What happens is, oh, hey, Smokey, this is a brokerage right here. If you want to get it, it's in the link tree in my bio. It's the very first link there. Oh, yo, Steven said MULN. This is a company. I would please don't put any money into this company. If you look in the top right, if you wanted to buy, this is why no one's buying this company. If you could buy this whole company right now. You can buy the whole company of Mullen Automotive for $1 million. So you buy this company for $1 million, all of it, let's say. Look what you're buying. You're buying a company that loses over $100 million of net income a quarter. So please don't buy this one. It could be a short-term swing trade that has 3 million of revenue. So anyway, please don't buy that stock. I mean, they're worth $1 million for a reason. You know, let's see. Oh, yo, Dennis said TWO. So wait, you're not. Oh, do you mean TTWO? So here's Two Harbors. This is a mortgage REIT. I would kind of avoid this one. They have a 16% dividend yield. It just seems a little too good to be true, if you ask me. Like, look at their revenue. This isn't like net income. This is revenue. Their revenue sometimes goes negative, so I don't really understand how this stock works. Maybe the dividend is sustainable, but um, I would personally be careful with that one. Um, I thought you were maybe you're talking about TTWO. Now, this company, has anyone heard of Take Two Interactive? This is the company that owns Rockstar Games. So if you've heard of GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption, GTA 6 is about to come out. Well, this is their stock right here. They're actually done great. Pretty close to an all-time high in anticipation of GTA 6. GTA 6 is supposed to be huge for Take Two. And look at the revenue right now is not doing good. Revenue's down 0.5% year over year, but it's because GTA 6 is about to come out. Um, on the vid where you went over your port and you skipped AMD. Oh, you Ritsu, yeah. Let's go look at AMD right here. So AMD, what's up, dude? Good to see you, Retsu. So AMD is a company that I do own here. I'll show you my AMD position. Yeah, there's my SoFi position, but we're down bad on AMD. We're down bad on them, by the way. Look at this. We own AMD at $124 a share, and well, it's currently 93. Here's why I'm considering buying more of AMD. I do like them because the fundamentals are still growing. Look at their PC GPU market share. AMD has a 16% PC GPU market share. Very impressive, but look at their data center revenue right here. AMD is really a data center play, in my opinion. The data center revenue is up 69% to a new record. So that's some incredible growth. Same with their client revenue, it's up 58%. So both of their main segments of business are growing. They just had $1 billion of free cash flow. They actually had a one-time adjustment to their net income. The net income was actually at a record, but anyway, they have no net debt. Look at that great balance sheet. I mean, that's a monster balance sheet. They have no net debt. So I'm definitely not selling AMD. If anything, I'll be buying a little bit more of them. Again, not financial advice. I can't put a lot of money in AMD. Like, I wouldn't have 10% of my portfolio in AMD. That's way, way, way too risky. But it's like 2 to 3% of my portfolio. So anyway, let's keep looking here. My fault if I don't get to all the stocks here. So AIRO. So yeah, what's this one? Aero Group Holdings. Oh, this is an IPO. They're not out yet. Or wait, maybe I didn't click the right stock. AIRO. Aero Group Holding. Yeah, I don't think they're public yet. Sorry. Wish I could give you thoughts on them. Um, let's see. It used to be Zygna before TTWO. Oh, really, Sawman? What's up, dude? I didn't know that. Thanks for that. Yo, Mama said CATX. What's this one? So this is Perspective Therapeutics. So if you look in the top right here, this one seems risky to me. They're only worth $144 million. So $144 million market cap. Dang, the stock is at like an all-time low. That's really unfortunate. So let's see. They're in I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. So yeah, look at that. The businesses, they don't have any sales at all. That's unfortunate. So look at this. The revenue was 300,000 in the most recent quarter, and they lost 40 million. Yo, that's really risky. Please stay away from that one. I wouldn't put any more money into that stock. I just couldn't trust my money with that one. Maybe it's a short-term swing trade, but I couldn't hold that one for the long run. It looks real risky. Sorry. I'm just trying to give you my honest thoughts here. Again, I'm not an expert. I've lost a lot of money on a lot of stocks. Hey, I don't sell anything. I don't have a course, book, Discord. Just on here giving my opinion. Uh, oh, hey, Spenny. Yeah, this is a brokerage right here. Yo, if you want to get this brokerage, I'm on right here. It's in the link tree in bio. First link there. It's free. Let's see. Call options on Apple tomorrow. Yo, what's up, Lando? Yeah, dude. Apple. You know what? We can look at Apple real quick. Actually, you kind of don't want to buy call options on Apple because look at this. Apple's already up in the overnight market. Where are they? Apple's up 5.4%. So look at that. Apple's done great, or they've kind of pre-priced in all the tariffs. But hey, they maybe could keep on going up tomorrow. But anyway, Apple's so cool. The tariffs are their exemption really helps them because look, only 36% of their revenue comes from the US, then 25% EU, China, all these other countries as well. So yeah, most of the revenue, comes from iPhone, then the services, they make so much net income. It's crazy. So yeah, that's a great buy and hold forever dividend stock. No reason to sell Apple. Just hold them for the long run. Yo, Jeff Mack, so good to see you, man. Yeah, my battery, we're on 26%. We're not doing too terrible. But yeah, well, let's check out CVNA. So this is Carvana. Yeah, thanks for being a member, dude. I appreciate you. So this is Carvana. This company literally went bankrupt. They burned all the bondholders and the shareholders. Stock went to $3. Then they got a loan. Then they got bailed out. And now the stock is at $200. That's because they're actually making profits now. That's what's crazy. Look, for the past 4 quarters, they have made net income every single quarter. So this now is a profitable company. Um, I just, actually the revenue is up 46% year over year. This one, you know, I just I haven't really done too much research on them. I just look elsewhere. But I mean, they are making money now. But I just don't like their business model too much to put a lot of money into that one. Yo, Andy said FNDE, but I they're interesting. That's what I'll say. So this is an ETF right here. So let's see what their top holdings are. So Taiwan Semi, Alibaba, Tencent. Oh, so this looks like an ETF that owns a bunch of international companies. So yeah, that's the thing. All these international stocks have not done as good as the U.S. market, but this is a good like complement to all American portfolio. You could buy that ETF. Not bad. Not bad. Apple gonna be barely open at green. Yeah, what up, Invest? We'll see. Yeah, no problem, Spinny. What's the current Nvidia price? I'll check it out for you. Yeah, so Apple's at 208. Nvidia is at 114. So look at them in one. I mean, we're comparing to pretty much the very bottom here, but 25% in 1 week. Geez, I mean, if we go to year to date, I mean, still down 15% year to date. Yeah, here's my portfolio, by the way. We are down 8% year to date. So 10% the past week though, but again, we're comparing to that bottom there. Yeah, this is my dividend only portfolio. I only own dividend stocks in here. Oh yeah, we also have our Roth IRA over here. We have like Kroger, Data. So, yo, someone said JEPQ. Yo, this is this is the Nasdaq covered call ETF. So this sells calls on the Nasdaq, and whenever they collect that premium, they return it to you as a dividend. So this has an 11.6% dividend, and it's completely sustainable because all they do is sell calls. I mean, it's taxed because they just sell calls. The premium is taxed at short-term capital gains. So, but yeah, not bad. But you're selling calls on the Nasdaq, which is supposed to grow every single year. So that's not really something you'd want to permanently keep on selling calls on. If I was going to look for a covered call ETF, I like SVOL is my favorite covered call ETF. They literally sell calls on volatility on the VIX. They have a 21% dividend. But again, you won't outperform the market with that kind. What's the other app you're using? Hey, yeah, this app right here. This is another brokerage. This is called Robinhood. If you want to download this brokerage, it's the second link in the link tree in my bio. Yeah, you can see the overnight market. I also have my Roth IRA with this one. They have a cool match program. Like Roth IRA is a tax-free retirement account. Oh yeah, and I don't do options, but Robinhood makes options really simple if you do like them. So yeah, this is a brokerage. Second link in the link tree in my bio. Anyway, let's keep going here. Oh, Nvidia. Yo, so Curious said Nvidia. You know what? I haven't looked at Nvidia in a while. Let's do some analysis on Nvidia. So they're at I think they were at like 120 in the overnight market. I don't remember, but here's what's so cool about Nvidia. Look at their PC GPU market share. You get an 18% market share or GPU market share with Nvidia. And look at this. The automotive business revenue is at a new record. So they're partnering with GM, WeRide, and here's why Nvidia deserves the hype. The sales are at a record. It's up 101% year over year. If any other company was growing like this, they'd also deserve all the hype. And so is the bottom line. They made $22 billion of net income just in the most recent quarter, and the net margins of 56%. So that's crazy. Nvidia, they're a $3 trillion company. They literally own some individual companies as well. Like if you go to Nvidia's portfolio, they own ARM, APLD. And remember how they're growing their automotive business? Yeah, they're partnering with WeRide. They even took a stake into WeRide stock. They took a stake into WeRide. Stock goes to 40. Now they're at $10. I wouldn't buy this one. They're like a Chinese Uber autonomy, but yeah, anyway, let's keep going here. Let's see. Oh, Lando said Rocket Lab. Yo, I love Rocket Lab stock. So Rocket Lab actually has a huge backlog of $1.3 billion of orders they can't fulfill yet. And also, they send rockets into space. So most of the revenue comes from their space systems business. And look at this. This is some incredible growth. I mean, it's up 75% to a new record. So that's some incredible growth on Rocket Lab. They're still losing net income, so you got to be a little careful, but they're not losing that much money. Like 200 million a year, they can afford that for right now. As long as they keep up the sales growth, I mean, that's all right. But I wouldn't put a lot of money into that one. Uh, so let's see. Oh, hey, someone said DNUT. So did y'all know Krispy Kreme was publicly traded? And unfortunately, Krispy Kreme is at an all-time low. They're going bankrupt, sadly. The whole company of Krispy Kreme is worth $700 million. So that's just so unfortunate. The whole company's worth 700 million. The revenue's down 10%. So yeah, they lost their growth. They're even losing net income now, which is unfortunate. So yeah, I'd be super careful with Krispy Kreme. I'd rather buy a McDonald's, dude. Krispy Kreme is starting to partner with McDonald's. Krispy Kreme might get bought out by McDonald's. Now that would be cool. Yo, MCRI. What's this one? MCRI. So, it's a resort. So this is like an MGM Properties. They've actually done pretty good. So you get a 1.6% dividend. That's not bad. The PE is a 19. That's a fair valuation. All the revenue comes from the U.S. Yeah, how are their sales doing? Actually, let me go down here. So the revenue, yeah, they're making 130 million of revenue a quarter, and their net income did just fall to only 4 million. Maybe they did an acquisition or some one time adjustment. I'm not sure, but usually this company just makes 20, 30 million of net income a quarter. Pretty nice. So yeah. Oh, SFM, yo, this is Sprouts Farmers Market. I do own Sprouts Farmers Market. This is like a healthy grocery store. Look at this company. This stock has moved like Nvidia. It's absolutely crazy. And that's because they're growing their fundamentals. The revenue's up 17% and the net income is up 59%. So this is the most impressive part. They're growing their net margin. And for a grocery store, that's so impressive. They grew their net margin 35% year over year. So absolutely incredible growth on Sprouts Farmers Market. So I own some Sprouts Farmers Market, and I also own another grocery store in my Roth. I own 5 shares of Kroger. Anyone's heard of Kroger before? They're like a smaller Walmart. But yeah, I like them. Intel, they're going bankrupt. Yo, Intel, they're not going bankrupt, but I mean mm, this company just isn't innovative anymore. It's so sad because the stock is lower than they were in 2014. So this company hasn't moved for over a decade, and they have a huge market share. Look at this; they have a 65% PC GPU market share. So a really big market share, but this is the unfortunate part. If we look at their net income, I mean, I'm gonna just show you the numbers for yourself. Look, in 2019, they were making 20 billion of net income a quarter. But look at they lost 20 billion. Like, how do you do that? They lost 20 billion of net income, and look at the free cash flow every quarter. They literally lose 3 to 4 billion of free cash flow quarter. So I'd be very careful with Intel. I'm not buying the dip on them. I'd rather buy an AMD dip or maybe TSM. Dude, TSM looks great here. Krispy Kreme had gone bankrupt the first time. Just recently did an IPO and got back in. Yeah, hey, Suzuki, man. Yeah, thanks for that. Looks like they might be going bankrupt again. Unfortunate. Yo, Krispy Kreme, I guess people aren't buying donuts anymore. I guess people would rather go to McDonald's or something. I own a few Kroger too. Hey, that's what's up, Andy. Yeah, they're at a low PE, good dividend. Yeah, Kroger's great. Yo, Wesley said PBR. What is PBR stock? So this is a South American company. Oh, this must be an oil and gas stock. So yeah, look at that. I assume they have a nice dividend. Wow, a 24% dividend. I wonder if that's sustainable. So they had some one-time adjustments. So usually they're making actually wow, usually they're making 5 billion of net income a quarter. The sales are down 23% just because the price of oil. But yeah, I guess wow, the largest shareholder is literally like the country Brazil. Wow, I like usually it's like BlackRock or Vanguard, but no, the largest shareholder of this stock is literally Brazil, the country. So that's interesting. Uh, Turns out donuts aren't health food. Yeah. unfortunately. Hey, all the apps I'm using are in the link tree in my bio. I'd rather buy at McDonald's. Krispy Kreme is partnering with McDonald's in New York, so you can buy Krispy Kreme donuts in McDonald's, which is kind of cool. McDonald's is a royalty real estate company. Whenever you buy something, or if you go spend $100 at any McDonald's, 4% of that goes back to this stock as a high margin sales and marketing royalty. And 85% of the land under every McDonald's is owned by this stock right here. So every franchise is also a tenant, which is it. McDonald's is a fascinating company. It's like they're a real estate and royalty company. So little of their sales come from like their own stores. So let's see here. You got any big news about any stocks? What up, Sunny D? Do some orange juice. Sunny D sounds delicious right now. Not really. I mean, Apple. That probably sounds so boring. Apple's up 5%. If we go to the overnight market, looks like stocks are going to open green tomorrow. Apple's up 5, SoFi's up 3, Nvidia's up 3, Qs are up 1. So yeah, here's my portfolio. We're up 0.48% again. We're still down 8% year to date, but yeah. Could you let me know what you think of TTD? Yeah, that's a huge advertising company. Oh, I like AMT. Yo, you want me to look at American Tower? I got you. So this is the Trade Desk. This is an advertising company. The reason the stock got hit so hard was because they lost Netflix. Unfortunately, Netflix used to use the Trade Desk to find advertisers, but now Netflix dropped the Trade Desk and they do it themselves. So I guess that'll hurt them in the future, but I think they're way oversold. No way Netflix was this meaningful to their stock. So I think it's just oversold. Look at the revenue. They had a record quarter. Revenue was up 22, but the net income was up 87. This is so impressive. Almost don't believe it. The net margin grew 50% to 24%. So they have a 24% net margin. So incredible. They're an advertising stock. So Trade Desk, I do like them actually. So yeah, let's go look at American Tower. So this is uh they're a real estate investment trust, so they have a high yield. They have a 3.84% dividend. Dividend sustainable. And look at where the revenue comes from. 62% is from the US, then they're in Brazil, Mexico. I actually like this international exposure to like all these emerging markets. Everyone wants cell tower. I hate driving in a spot where there's no cell service. It's so annoying. You know, I think other countries are starting to feel that same way. I hate not having data everywhere I go. Well, maybe they don't like the 5G towers. I don't know. It's probably more Shimmy Donut. So that's why we went out of business in Houston where I live. Hey, what up, Suzuki man? Yeah, the Shipley's Donuts. That's interesting. XRP, yeah, if you guys got any stocks you want me to look at, let me know. We'll check them out. I'm reading both the YouTube and the TikTok chat. So yeah. For y'all on the TikTok, I'd appreciate if y'all would subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you missed anything, you could replay the stream on there. But yeah, XRP, this is a crypto. I wish I could give you more thoughts on them, but all we can really do is look at the stock price. What's cool about crypto is there's no earnings reports to worry about. Like XRP can't go miss on net income by 50%. That's what's like. That's like a cool feature about crypto. It's not like Apple, where Apple could have a huge iPhone sales miss or something. And that's kind of like Bitcoin too. It's pretty cool anyway. Ooh, Alish said Baba stocks. So yeah, if we go look at the Chinese stocks. Oh, hey Carter, this is a brokerage right here. If you want to get this brokerage, it's in the link tree in my bio. It's the very first link here. Yeah, you can track like super investors portfolio and stuff. But let's go look at the China portfolio. Let's go look at Alibaba right here. This is my second favorite Chinese stock. This is basically the Chinese Amazon, and they print net income. Look at this. They made 6 billion of net income the most recent quarter, 6 billion the quarter before. They're making like 15 billion of net income a year. And the free cash flow is even better. It's 10 billion of free cash flow in the most recent quarter. And the PE is so cheap. They're trading at 15 times net income. So the PE ratio is fair on Alibaba. Yeah, you even have a 1% dividend with them now. So yeah, they've partnered with DeepSeek AI. They're really cool. Ooh, yo, Megan said Pan W. I really love Pan W. If you go to Nancy Pelosi's portfolio right here, one of her most popular stocks is PANW. This is a cybersecurity. And even if we go into a recession, people still got to spend on cybersecurity. AI is still getting better. That means it's easier to get hacked. So cybersecurity, I believe, is such a great business to be in the long run. And look at this. I love subscription model companies. Look at PanW's subscription revenue. I mean, you can't make this up. This is incredible subscription revenue growth. Yeah, hey Jackson, this is a brokerage. If you want to download this brokerage, it's in the link tree in my bio. It's the very first link there. It's free if you want to get it. Then they're in support and product. So yeah, 63% of their business from the US, But yeah, I love just the growth here and their profitability. They're literally making 300 million of net income a quarter. They had a one-time adjustment. That's why it says 1.75 billion. That was just a one-time adjustment, but they're profitable. The free cash flow is insane. So yeah, I really like that one. And Nancy Pelosi owns a bit of them. So here, yeah, hey, Matthew said CRWV. So this is the CoreWeave IPO. I wish I could give you some like real thoughts on them, but they literally just IPO'd. Like we got to really zoom in here. They've been public for 10 days, so we don't really have much history to look at here. But Nvidia took a $300 million stake in the IPO, which is cool. And in the most recent quarter, they had 747 million of revenue. So that kind of gives a little picture. That's only the most recent quarter, but that's really interesting. CoreWeave, I'll have to look into them later. Yeah, no problem, Jack. Ooh, here's Lockheed Martin LMT. So this is um like an aerospace and defense company. If we look at where the revenue comes from, I'll just show you. Look, revenue comes from aeronautics, rotary, and mission systems, missiles. They're in space as well. They make engines, fighter jets, and stuff like that. A lot of contracts with the U.S. You get a nice dividend. You get a sustainable 2.7% dividend with this company. And I love how diversified that they are. So yeah, Lockheed Martin, they're a cool one. I'd much rather buy them than like a Boeing. Boeing is it's so risky. So yeah, actually, if you look at Boeing real quick, Boeing hasn't made a single dollar of net income in over 2 years. So you know what? I don't even want to waste any more time looking at them. How do they burn so much net income? I don't get it. But yeah, I'd stay away from them. Yo, here's a few stocks I want to show you guys. You might find these interesting. So this is my zero debt watch list. So every stock on this watch list, I appreciate y'all still being here on the stream. I'll share with you a little bit of hidden stocks here I really like. This is my debt-free watch list. So every stock in here has no debt. You probably heard of some of these before, like Reddit is debt-free. Yelp. Has anyone heard of the Opera GX browser? I get so many ads for those. The Opera GX browser, they're a publicly traded stock. OPRA, Pinterest that has no debt. And again, just because they have no debt doesn't mean the stock will do good. Like Pinterest is at the same price as they were at IPO, but Celsius, Sprouts Farmers Market, Zoom, and Duolingo. Yo, I'll stop talking about these, but yo, we'll look at SYM after this. Yeah, if you guys got any stocks you want me to look at, let me know in the chat. I'll check them out for you. Here's Duolingo. A lot of people think this is some boring language learning app, but look at this about Duolingo. 81% of the revenue comes from their subscription business. You won't believe the growth here. It is up 48% year over year, literally to a new record. So this is incredible subscription revenue growth. Their advertising revenue's up. Their Duolingo English test revenues up. So yeah, the free cash flow is 80 million. That make a net income every quarter. They have no debt. So Duolingo is a really cool company. Huh? They're on my watch list as well. But yeah. Ooh, so SYM got beaten up. You're right. Actually, I'll show you. I own this company here in my. Oh yeah, look, we're down bad on my AMD position right here. Another stock we are down bad on is, well, we're not down too much on them, but this is SYM. So hey, they're up 3.7% in the overnight market, but this is a robotics company. And they're not making any revenue right now. If we go to their net income, they're losing money every single quarter. So I wouldn't put a lot of money into this stock. But I love the sales growth. Look at this revenue growth. It is incredible. It is up 35% year over year. They're a warehouse robotics company. So SYM's cool, but they're still losing money right now. So I'd be careful about that. Oh, and so, someone said another robotic stock. So we just looked at SYM, which is a warehouse robotic stock. Here's a robotic stock I would completely avoid. I would way, way rather buy SYM, and well, I do. But look at this company right here. If we look at their revenue, I mean, you're pretty much buying a startup here. Serve Robotics revenue was $175,000. So literally no revenue, and they lost 13 million in the same quarter. I mean, their balance sheet's growing, but they're issuing shares. That's how they're getting those new assets. So I'd be super careful with SCRV. I just don't see any revenue there. The fundamentals just don't look too great there. And let me go back to the Robinhood account real quick. Let's see how we're doing. We're up 0.49% in the overnight market, which should be fun. We're down 8% year to date. Yeah, I can't wait to see what tomorrow is. So, yeah, every stock we own is up in the overnight market, which is cool. Yeah, wow, the SPY keeps on going up. Look, the SPY is up 0.85%. So let's go. Tomorrow should be good, but hey, anything could happen. between now and tomorrow. So, yo, failed checkout said SHOP. I love Shopify stock. This is a Canadian company, by the way. But check this out. This is the most impressive part. Look at their annual revenue growth. For the full year 2024 was 9 billion, up 26%. Like that annual revenue growth is nuts, that growth. And the profitability. They made 600 million of free cash flow in the most recent quarter, 1.3 billion of net income. So they're just making a ton of money. It's consistent. Monster balance sheet. Their assets are growing, liabilities are staying the same. I mean, their assets liabilities ratio is going down while their assets are growing up. So Shopify, incredible, incredible company. Again, not this is not financial advice, but I do really like them. So here's another stock, TOST. So this is a like restaurant software company, and the growth here of the sales is so incredible. If you look at the revenue, it's up 29% year over year. So 29% year over year revenue growth, and they're now making net income. If we zoom out, they used to lose net income every quarter. Well, now in the three most recent quarters, they're making net income, and they're supposed to keep on making net income as well according to the analysts. So yeah, Toast, I do own them, by the way. I own a little bit of Toast. Yo, helpful. What's up, dude? He said Nestle stock. NESTLE. Let's find them. So yeah, Nestle, they are I don't know what country they're in. Is that their stock? I don't know. Wait. Maybe it's this one right here. I think we just looked at. So yeah, here's Nestle stock. I mean, this looks right. So yeah, I remember they got really hurt by there was a huge problem with the price of cocoa and chocolate. A lot of the revenue comes from their chocolate business, but chocolate prices were really hurting them. Oh yeah, look at that. We can kind of see where all their businesses are. But yeah, look at the net income. We have to switch it to US dollars here. So they made $12 billion of net income for the full year 2024. Yeah, they're incredibly profitable. You get a 3% dividend. I don't think you can buy this company. Are they? I don't know if you're able to buy them, but the stock's done pretty good on the weekly. And my phone's about to die. Hey, Suzuki, man, you're still here. What's up? Hey, my phone's on 22. We're doing pretty good. The last couple percent always hits different. What is the best buy tonight? Best, not Best Buy. I'll tell you that. If we look at BBY right here, stay away from Best Buy, in my opinion. I mean, this is a high yielding 6.2% dividend yield, but just not with the tariffs. I don't know. Anyway, oh, Eric said Meta stock. Yeah, we'll look at SoFi as well. So Meta stock, they have so many users. It's crazy. They own Instagram and Facebook, but they have 3.35 billion daily active users. So, yeah, a lot of active users, and the revenue is incredible. The net income was up to 21 billion. So they made 21 billion of net income, but their net margin was the best part. They grew their net margin 23% to a 43% net margin. So if you spend $100 at Meta, 43 of that is net income. Oh yeah, hey, what up, Nate? Yeah, you're right. Probably the best stocks to buy tomorrow. Again, not financial advice. I don't know. It's hard to buy anything after this rally. Like if we look at Nvidia, like classic tech, risky company, in the past week, in 1 week, they are up 25%. So it's tough to buy today when like the time to buy. So I'd maybe just be chilling on cash right now. But This looks like the market's going to be green, but I'm looking to buy more Amazon and Google. Again, not financial advice. Uh, I like Amazon and Google. Those are companies I would dollar cost average into and be safe about it. I would avoid dollar cost averaging into the risky low market cap companies like this stock right here. I've lost a lot of money. They're only a $300 million company, and the stock's at an all-time low. So make sure you're dollar cost averaging into a high quality company. Yo, Josh said Tesla and Nvidia. You know what? We'll look at Tesla because I haven't looked at them in a long time. Tesla's one to just, in my opinion, I would probably avoid them or don't put a lot of my money in them. They have a really high PE. So they're trading at 123 times net income, and they actually just they lost their growth. Their vehicle deliveries are actually down 13% year over year. You kind of see the deliveries by model, but that's kind of reflected in their automotive business. 90% of the revenue comes from their automotive business, and look, the revenue is actually down 5% year over year. So, fortunately, Tesla's lost their growth, but there is some good news. It's the energy generation business. I mean, look at this growth. It's only 10% of the revenue, but they have like a lot of mini businesses, like the robo taxi. Maybe they'll have like the robots in the future, all going to help out their future growth. But for right now, I just can't buy that one. The valuation's too high. Ooh, SOFI. Yeah, I'll be quick about SoFi. We've looked at them a few times. But yeah, SoFi Technology, they're a fintech. They have their own banking charter. They got their banking charter through a loophole that's now patched because of them. It's like impossible to get a banking charter. But anyway, look at this. The financial services revenue is up 85% year over year. Incredible. Incredible financial services growth. Yeah, dude, Todd, people love Tesla. And I used to own Tesla. You know what? I'll show you my Tesla history. Tesla, um, people used to say that they were just going to grow 25% through 2030. They would grow their revenue 25%. Actually, look at this. Somewhat, this actually isn't good. I sold my Tesla at 169, and well, it's almost $100 higher. So yeah. Anyway, Tesla, that's just one I just avoid. But yeah, SoFi Financial Services doing great. Yeah, SoFi, people used to say that company used to grow like 25% a year, their revenue forever. But anyway, I really appreciate y'all being here. I gotta go. It's really tired for me. I've been streaming for like almost 2 hours now. If y'all want to hit the follow button, I'd really appreciate that. Oh my gosh, TikTok. Why do you Oh my gosh, sorry, we're back. Okay, I really appreciate y'all being here. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. If you want to download this brokerage right here, it's in the link tree in my bio. It's the very first link there. It's free. And yeah, if you wanted to follow button, we go live every day, twice a day. So if you come back tomorrow, if you hit the notification bell, if you subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. We're gonna be live tomorrow. Also, we'll see how the market's doing. I expect the market to be green tomorrow. If we go ahead and look at our portfolio in the overnight market, we're already up. Hey, we keep on going up 0.59%. So hey, see y'all tomorrow. Hope you had a great weekend. Happy Sunday. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all are the best. And watch out for people impersonating me. I don't have a Discord, WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord. I don't got none of that. Hey, yo, Todd. I'll see you later, homie. See you tomorrow. Have a great night. See you later, guys. Yeah, thanks for y'all on the YouTube stream. Thank you, Suzuki, man.